you are a boy or girl, how will you rock the world? Whoa, 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 how will you rock the world? Whoa, 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 how will you rock the world? Whoa, 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 how will you rock the world? Whoa, 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 how will you rock the world?
Sometimes being a girl isn't easy. At some point, someone probably will tell you no, will tell you to be quiet, and may even tell you your dreams are impossible. Don't listen to them. These women certainly did not take no for an answer. They persisted. Welcome to our famous women presentations. Throughout our program, we'll be reading excerpts like this one from the book She Persisted by Chelsea Clinton. I hope you enjoy our presentations.
Hi, my name is Coley Beck, and this is the life of Martha Washington. Martha was born on June 2nd, 1731. She had two brothers named John and Francis and Mom and Dad. Martha didn't go to school. In Shem, she learned how to run a home. In 1750, she married Daniel Custis. They had 4 children, but 2 died as babies. Then her husband died. In 1759, she married George Washington. Then a war happened. Martha knitted for the army. In 1789, George became president and Martha became first lady. She held parties. Sadly, Martha died in 1802. Thank you for listening to my story. I hope you enjoyed it. Harriet Tubman was born a slave, and her story could have ended there. Instead, she persisted, escaping from slavery and becoming the most famous conductor on the Underground Railroad. She risked her life many times to lead countless slaves to freedom, including her family, friends, and strangers. Every person she led to freedom arrived safely.
Good afternoon. My name is Ben. I am doing a report on Harriet Tubman. She was born around 1820 in Bucktown, Maryland. She had 10 brothers and sisters. Her parents were Benjamin and Harriet Ross. Tubman was a slave at birth and started working at 5 years old. She had different jobs until she ran away in 1849 to Pennsylvania by herself. Slavery was against the law. Once she was free, she went back to save her family and her slaves. By 1860, she helped to free at least 300 other people. She then became a nurse for the Union Army in the North during the Civil War. After the war, Tubman moved to Auburn, New York to take care of her parents and remarried. She kept helping others and raised money for schools in the South. She died on March 10, 1913. Thank you for listening.
Hello, my name is Claire, and I'm going to take you back in time when Elizabeth Blackwell was living. Elizabeth Blackwell was born on February 3rd, 1821 in Brookville, England. She moved to New York when she was 11. She lived with her dad, who worked at a sugar refinery, her 8 siblings, and her mom. Growing up, Elizabeth did not want to be a doctor. She also did not like people knowing she was sick. Do you even know how Elizabeth got famous? She was the first woman doctor. Elizabeth once went to see a friend who was sick. She told Elizabeth she wanted a woman doctor to take care of her. That got her to apply for medical school. She got rejected a lot of times, but after a while, she was accepted. When Elizabeth got there, all of the boys were bullying her. After a few years, she graduated. Later in life, she did not marry anyone, but she did adopt a kid. Later, she and her sister made a girls-only medical school. If I had to describe her in 2 words, I would choose persistent and inspirational. Elizabeth reminds me of my dad because she never gave up when people gave up on her. If I could meet her, I would ask, how did you handle being rejected so many times? One thing that amazes me, she did not feel down when she was bullied. Sadly, on May 31st, 1910, at age 89, she died. Thank you for listening to me. I hope you have a great day.
Nellie Bly became a reporter in part because a male writer said that women were a monstrosity and wanted to prove that women could do anything. At times, putting her safety at risk, she persisted throughout her career in exposing male monstrosities, pretending to be a sweatshop worker and a patient in a mental hospital to show how badly people were being treated.
Hi, my name is Nellie. I'm going to tell you about the daring Nellie Bly. It all began when she was born on May 5, 1864 in Cochrane Mills, Pennsylvania. Bly had 2 brothers. Sadly, when she was 6, her father died. She always liked to wear frilly pink dresses. Nellie was nicknamed Pink her back. When she was 16, she moved to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. In Pittsburgh, her brothers found jobs. Nellie had a very hard time finding a job. Then she got a job as a reporter. She went to Mexico to write about how people were being treated unfairly. She also went around the world in 72 days. That was a huge accomplishment. She started in Markham, New Jersey. Her journey ended in Jersey City train station. She also went undercover in a hospital. She married a businessman named Robert Seaman on April 5th. On one very sad day, she passed away. It was on January 27, 1922. If I could ask her a question, I would ask, how did you do all these incredible things? Nellie reminds me of Simone Biles because they both accomplished so many things. I hope you had a good time listening to my presentation about Nellie Bly.
Growing up in Poland, Marie Curie knew that because she was a girl, she would have to leave her country to go to college. She persisted, moving to France to pursue her dream of being a scientist. Her work in radioactivity, the way that some materials give off energy, led to becoming the first woman awarded a Nobel Prize in Physics. A few years later, she discovered two new elements, one of which she named polonium after her home country. For that work, she won a second Nobel Prize in Chemistry. She was the first person in the world, man or woman, to receive two Nobel Prizes.
Hello everybody, my name is David and I'm going to be presenting this very special woman called Marie Curie. Marie was born on November 7, 1867 in Warsaw, Poland. Both of her parents were teachers. She lived most of her life in Paris, France. She had 3 sisters. When she was little, the Russians took over. She went to college in France. She was hardworking, independent, and smart. She discovered 2 elements called polonium and radium. She won 2 Nobel Prizes, one for her work on radioactivity and another for her work on radium. She was brave and creative. She reminded me of me and my mom and dad because they worked hard. I think the lesson I learned is to never give up. On July 4th, 1934, Marie died on July 4th, 1934. Thank you for listening to me. I hope you learned a little bit more about Marie Curie.
Once Helen Keller became blind and deaf as a toddler, few people thought she'd be able to learn to read, write, or speak, but she persisted. Helen learned how to do all 3 things and not only become the first person with deaf blindness to graduate from college, but she used her story to help fight for more opportunities for people with disabilities in the United States and around the world.
Hi, my name is Brett, and I want to introduce you to Helen Keller. Her birthday is June 27, 1880. Helen Keller was born in Tuskegee, Alabama. She lived in Alabama. Helen got sick when she was 1.5 years old. She had a high fever when she was 1.5 years old. She became deaf and blind. Helen was a very angry child because no one understood her. When she was 10 years old, she met Angela, who finally taught her to read, write, and talk. Sullivan took Helen to First Main School for the deaf and deaf. She even went to college, where she played board games, ran, and rode a bike. She got voted class president. Helen proved many people wrong. She was awarded the President Medal of Freedom in 1964. She was also elected in the Women's Hall of Fame. Helen was famous for learning how to communicate. Even though she was deaf and blind,
People wanted to know all about her. She was brave and kind. Helen Keller reminds me of my mom because she works hard. If I could meet her, I would ask her what was harder, being deaf or blind. What was something you were nervous about? If I could give her an award, it would be the bravest person award. I think she was kind and smart. Helen died on June 1st, 1968, and was for communicate USA. I had fun learning about Helen Keller, and I hope you did too.
Good afternoon. My name is Cecily, and I will be telling you everything I learned about Coco Chanel. Gabrielle Chanel, also known as Coco Chanel, was born on August 19, 1883, in Samar, France. When Gabrielle was 11 years old, her mother died, and she was sent to live with nuns in an orphanage. Gabrielle was always finding ways to be different. When the children played, Gabrielle would sew with a needle and thread. The nuns did not like that Gabrielle was different. They were mean to her because she was strange. But Gabrielle would not stop being different. When Gabrielle grew up, she would sew in the day and sing in the night. She then earned the name Coco. In 1909, she established a hat shop in DeVille. Her hats were simple and elegant. One night, she was getting ready for a party. Pop, a lamp broke. Her dress and her hair was ruined. But she would not miss the party, so she cut her hair. But she still needed a dress. That's when she made the little black dress. When she went to the party, she saw the other girls were not dancing. Their corsets made them barely able to breathe. So Coco created a new style. Simple and straight. Her dresses and skirts would be comfortable. At Coco's first fashion show, her clothes were too different to some people. But Coco showed them the style she liked. And now people still wear her clothes today. Coco Chanel died January 10, 1971 in Paris, France. People still remember her for her perfume, Chanel No. 5, and her clothes. She reminds me of myself because I love fashion. If I could talk to her, I'd ask her, were you afraid to be different? One thing that amazes me that Coco broke lots of rules. 2 lessons I learned from Coco are, never be afraid to be different, and everything turns out okay in the end. I hope you learned a lot about Coco Chanel. Remember, don't be afraid to be different. Au revoir.
Good afternoon. My name is Jen. Have you ever heard of Amelia Earhart? Amelia Earhart was born in July 1897 in Atchison, Kansas. She lived in Atchison, Kansas most of her life. Her dad, Edwin Earhart, was a lawyer for a railroad. Her grandfather was a judge. Earhart's sibling Muriel played football with her. Amelia saw her first plane in 1908. She spent Christmas 1970 with Muriel in Toronto, Canada. In June 1928, Amelia, Bill Clutch, and Slim Gordon went across the Atlantic Ocean. She became the first woman to cross the Atlantic Ocean. In 1937, she wanted to fly across the globe. She didn't make it. There was a giant search. She wasn't found. Did you learn more about Amelia Earhart after listening to my report?
Good afternoon. My name is Thomas, and I'm going to tell you about Grace Hopper. She was born in New York City on December 9, 1906. She lived with her mom and dad and sister and brother. Grace was the oldest child. Grace's dad had an illness that caused him to lose both of his legs. He told his children if he could walk with wooden legs and canes, then they could do anything. Grace's family spent their summer in New Hampshire. Grace was very good at math. She attended a private school growing up. Most girls did not go to college when Grace lived, but her parents wanted her to get a good education. In 1928, Grace graduated from Mercer College with a degree in math and physics. She went to Yale University for her master in 1930. Grace went to school to Harvard. Both Vance and Grace became teachers and continued to go to school while she earned a doctorate degree in 1934. At the age of 36, Grace joined the Navy. The Navy told Grace she was too old to join, but she did not give up and finally agreed to work in the Navy. She learned how to use a computer. She learned how to code and was becoming a soldier in the new world of computers. Grace was smart and never gave up. Grace reminds me of my mother because there was time with Grace. And you should always try your best. If I were to meet her, I would ask her when you make a computer. Sadly, Grace Hopper died on January 1992. I think Grace Hopper was an amazing woman, and I hope you do too.
My name is Cameron, and I learned about a famous woman named Alicia Alonso. This is the story of her life. Alicia was born in 1920 on December 21st in Van Africa. She had a mom, dad, and brother. She liked ballets and wanted to be her. When she was 16, she moved to New York to become a better ballerina. When she was 19, Alicia suffered from a deaf screen that harmed her vision. This did not stop her from having a successful career. She danced on Broadway and for the American Ballet Theater. When she was an adult, she taught dance and she believed in her students. She also liked teaching things that she liked, and she liked teaching ballet. Alicia is hardworking. She was also brave in a lot of different ways. Back in me, Alicia Alonso, I would ask her, when you were in New York City and you were in class, when the teacher kept pushing you, how did you stand up for yourself? How did you have the courage? Alicia Alonso reminds me of my mom because she was a ballerina. One thing that amazes me is she was partially blind, but she kept doing ballet. 2 lessons that I learned from her are that you should never give up and that you should not care what people say about you. Alicia died in 1920. This is the story of her life. Hope you have a good day. Hello, my name is Aria, and I would like to tell you a bit about a famous woman named Judith Lee. She was born on July 11, 1921, in Budapest, Hungary. She had a mom, dad, and sister named Eva. She had no brothers. When Judith was just 17, she went to London to study chemistry. After a year, she came home for a vacation, but never went back to school. War broke out, and she wanted to be near her family. Then her family was put in danger just because they were Jewish. Jewish families were being taken away. They were crowded in small apartments and dark basements. Luckily, Judith's family stayed hidden. Judith was busy making handbags and many scraps she could find. After the war, while Judith was in the walk, she met someone named Gerson Lieber. Gerson Lieber was an American soldier. After Judith and Gerson Lieber were together for a while, they eventually got married. They went to live together in New York City. Judith worked for many handbag companies. Then she decided to start her own business in 1963. Her husband helped her run the business. Her first handbag she made was not the best she hoped for. The bottom of the metal handbag turned green. Instead of throwing the bag away, she decorated the bottom with tiny crystals. Everyone loved it. Everyone wanted her bag. She even made them for presidents, wives, and celebrities. Today, her handbags designs sell for thousands of dollars. Sadly, Judith Lieber's husband died on April 28, 2018. Judith died hours later at the age of 97. Someone that Judith reminds me of is Cecily because Judith loves designing just like Cecily. This person taught me to never give up and to always try your best. If I could meet her, I would ask, how did you start making handbags and why? Something that amazes me is about Judith Lieber is that she was never scared when she was in the dark business. Well, thank you for listening to my presentation about Judith Lieber.
Hi, my name is Nora, and I'm here to tell you about Eugenie Bell. She was born in 1922 on May 4th in New York. She lived most of her life in New York. As she was growing up, she dove into many things like oceans, boats, and living a woman. As an adult, she was brave. She was willing to stand up for sharks. She traveled through the oceans to discover new things about sharks. She was courageous. She believes that she could overtake the thought that she could not become a scientist. And she did. She was confident because she didn't listen to those who doubted her. She had some struggles, though, of course, but she still became the shark queen. Her struggles were people doubting her and telling her she would succeed. 2 words I would describe her are inspirational and smart. Jeannie Clark reminds me of me because she's curious and like sharks. A lesson I learned from her is you don't have to be famous for you. She last moved to Saratoga, Florida with her husband and 4 children. There she started the Cape Hayes Marine Laboratory. She studied sharks there. If I ever got the chance to talk to her, I would say you inspire me and thank you for telling people sharks are not mindless killers. Something about her that amazes me is she was still diving at 87. In conclusion, I think Eugenie Clark is a really cool woman. Thank you for listening and have a good afternoon.
Hello, I am Maya and I will tell you about my shoes. Jane Goodall was born in England on April 3, 1934. Growing up, Jane was interested in animals. She wanted to go to Africa and see animals. She worked hard to save money. She moved to Africa when she was 26. In Africa, she discovered chimps had feelings and made tools. She also discovered chimp safety. She helped the chimps. I have described her courageous and brave. She reminds me of my mom when I was brave. If I was able to meet her, I would ask her, can you send your autograph? What amazes me is that she never gave up. I've learned 2 things about this person. 1, never quit, keep be patient. Well, so I hope you learn more about Jane Goodall.
Sally Ride always believed women could succeed in any math or science grade, although not everyone agreed. She persisted and became the first American woman in space. But that wasn't enough for Sally. She traveled into space once more, then created science and engineering programs specifically for girls so she could help generations of young women achieve their dreams too, both on Earth and in outer space.
Good afternoon, my name is Tyler, and Dr. Outer Space is my famous woman, Sally Ride. She was born on May 26, 1951 in California. Her father was a college teacher and her mother helped her in school. Sally had 1 sister named Karen. Growing up, Sally loved sports and was very athletic. She was a fan of the Dodgers. She also played tennis. Sally liked math and science. She was a good student in college. In college, Sally fell in love with space. After she graduated school, she applied to be an astronaut at NASA. Only 35 people got the job, and Sally was one of them. Sally was famous because she was the youngest and first American woman to go to space. Sally reminds me of myself because I'm athletic too. 2 lessons I learned from her are you work hard, your dreams will come true, and to stick with your dreams. If I was able to meet her, I would ask her, what is your favorite thing about space? One thing that amazes me is she works really hard for a really long time to accomplish her dreams. Sadly, Sally Ride died on July 23rd, 2012.
Hi, my name is Ryder. I'm going to be telling you about Michelle Obama. Michelle Obama was born on January 17, 1964. She had 1 brother named Craig. Her parents' names were Frazier and Marin Robinson. The Robinsons lived in a small apartment. They made sure to leave room for a piano, though, because Michelle loved to play. Michelle was a good student. She graduated from Princeton University in 1985 and a Harvard Law School in 1988. She became a lawyer in Chicago. She met Barack Obama in Chicago. They married in 1992. Michelle stopped being a lawyer and took new jobs that helped people. Helping people was important to Michelle. The Obamas had 2 daughters. Their names were Mila and Sasha. In 2007, Michelle's husband Obama decided to run for president. Michelle helped him with his campaign. Barack became president in 2009. Michelle became first lady. Michelle Obama reminds me of my mom and dad because my mom and dad never give up. Michelle taught me never give up and treat everyone fairly. It amazes me that she was the first African American First Lady. Thanks for listening to my report.
Good afternoon. My name is Markham. I'm going to take you back in time to when Mia Hamm was little. Mia Hamm was born on March 17, 1972 in Selma, Alabama. Mia was born partially clubfoot. She had 3 brothers and sisters. Mia danced because she was too young to play soccer. When she was 6, she was able to join her friends who played soccer. She was very good in other sports she played. She played soccer at college at North Carolina. She led her team to 4 NCAA titles and graduated in 1994. She was on the Olympic soccer team in 1997. In 1998, she won her 5th U.S. soccer female athlete. I learned how to work hard and never give up. The thing that amazed me is that she plays soccer. She reminds me of myself. If I could meet her, I would ask, how did you overcome having a club foot? That's the story of Mia Hamm.
Hello, my name is Emma. I'd like to share my report about Kate Middleton. Kate was born on January 9, 1982 in Reading, England. Kate has 2 siblings. Her sister's name is Philippa and her brother's name is James. Her mom's name is Carol and her dad's name is Michael. She was the oldest child out of 3 kids. When Kate was older, she married a prince. A couple years later, they had a little boy. Then they had a baby girl. She is a fashionable mother and duchess. Kate is very charitable. She makes things for kids around the world. She sends food to people and makes sure they get a good education. She does that with Kate. Kate reminds me of me because I love to be good and she loves to be good. I learned her title is a duchess. If I could ask her a question, I would ask, do you like being a duchess? One thing that amazes me is 1 million people went to war. Thank you for listening to our report about Kate Middleton.
Hi, my name is Maggie, and I'm delighted to be here to tell you about Misty Coe. Misty was born on September 10, 1982 in Kansas City, Missouri. She lived with her mom, 2 big brothers, a big sister, and a younger brother and sister. Sometimes Misty's family had to do with very little money. Misty moved to Southern California when she was 2. Copeland did go to school. Misty began taking ballet lessons when she was 13 years old. In middle school, Misty set a huge goal that could change her life. She wanted to be a famous ballerina. She succeeded. Misty was in Swan Lake in 2014. She played the lead of Clara and the Nutcracker in 2014. During this time, she worked on projects outside of ballet. Some people did not want Misty to have the lead parts. Those people said ballet was only for white people. Another struggle Misty had to overcome was she injured her back and would need a year to recover. Misty was remembered for dancing. She always kept trying, pushing through hard times. I describe Misty as brave and hopeful. Misty reminds me of myself because I do ballet too. She also reminds me of my sister Leah because Misty likes cooking and so does Leah. 2 lessons I learned from her is never give up and to keep working hard. If I could meet her, I would ask, were you nervous being the only black one of dozens of white dancers? One thing that amazes me is in 2020, Copeland helped start a fundraiser to be nice to people during COVID-19 pandemic. That is some news about Misty Copeland, a girl who changed the world.
Good afternoon, my name is Lynn and I will tell you about Imtiaz Muhammad. She is a famous fencer. She was born in Maplewood, 1985. She has 3 sisters and 1 brother. She was involved in sports growing up. Imtiaz is Muslim. Many sports uniforms did not cover the whole body and hair. Imtiaz wore baggy clothes to participate in sports. Some students made fun of her clothes. She started fencing at 13. She liked that the uniforms covered her from head to toe. She became an Olympian. She never gave up. She won all American fencing honors. Imtiaz reminds me of my mom because they are both brave. 2 lessons I learned from her are to never give up, and if you are in a bad moment, keep trying. Now think, what did you know about Imtiaz Muhammad before I told you this and after?
Hi, my name is Amelia, and I'm going to tell you about Carly Patterson. Carly was born on February 4th in Louisiana. She lived in Louisiana for most of her life. She did move. She started gymnastics when she was 6. She practiced before and after school. She was split up with her family to follow her dreams. Her parents are Ricky and Natalie Patterson. Her sister is Jordan. Once Carly broke her arm doing gymnastics. She is remembered for making it to the 2004 Olympics. The team got second place, on being second place as well. Carly is brave, confident, and successful. Carly reminds me of me because I am a gymnast and I want to go to the Olympics. She taught me to be brave and confident. Something that amazes me is she got 76th place, but later, when she was 16, got gold. She also competed with a broken arm. If I could meet her, I would ask her, can you teach me how to do a back handspring on the ground? Now she lives in Texas, has 3 kids, and is married. I hope you learned some stuff about Carly Patterson. Have a good rest of your day.
Good afternoon. I would like to share my report on Michelle Lee. Michelle Sung Lee was born on October 11th, 1989 in Honolulu, Hawaii. Growing up, Michelle didn't like to run, so she chose golf because it didn't include any running. Michelle was very good. When she was 5, she could hit a golf ball up to 100 yards. By the time she was 7, she was shooting scores in the 80s in 18 holes. That's less than most adults. She once shot a 64 on a Champion Lake course at 10 years old. At 11, she found herself winning the Hawaii State Champion for women. In 2004 and 2005, she played PGA Tour's Sony Open. She missed the cut both times. In 2005, just 6 days before she turned 16, she turned pro. With that, she was paid to play golf. She got paid $10 million, which is more than any female. Fast forward to 2022, Michelle is still playing golf and married to Johnny West, who manages the Golden State Warriors. I hope you enjoy my report on Michelle Lee.
Hi, my name is Finn Holland. I did some research on an amazing woman named Taylor Swift. Taylor was born on December 13th, 1989. She was born in Reading, Pennsylvania. When she was a kid, she loved music and played guitar. She also rode horses. She also rode horses. She grew up on a Christmas tree farm. She is famous for her songs. Taylor Swift is hard-working and creative. Taylor won the MTV VMA 2015 Video Award for Bad Blood. Also, in 2015, she won 8 awards in one night. She got bullied at school. She reminds me of my friend Sadie because they both love singing. If I could meet her, I would ask her what inspired her to write Shake It Off. If I could give her an award, I would give her a hard-working award. I think she is smart, kind, and amazing. I had fun learning about Taylor Swift, and I hope you did too.
Good afternoon. My name is Lily, and I'm going to tell you about an Olympic gymnast named Gabby Douglas. Gabby was born on December 31st, 1995 in Virginia Beach. Her mom is Natalie Hawkins, and her dad is Timothy Douglas. She has 2 sisters. One is Ayala and one is Joelle. She has one brother named Jonathan. At age 6, she started gymnastics. At age 14, she moved to West Day, Iowa, to become a better gymnast with a better coach.
because growing up she was homeschooled because of her gymnastics. Gabby had to overcome being comment on social media. 2 ways I would describe her as strong and brave. If I could meet her, I would ask, why did you become a gymnast? Gabby was remembered for her gymnastics. Something that amazes me is that she won 2 gold medals at the Summer Olympics in 2012 on her best event in the boys. Now as an adult, she is 26 years old. Thank you for listening to my report. Goodbye.
So if anyone tells you no, if anyone says your voice isn't important or your dreams are too big, remember these women. They persisted, and so should you. Thank you for coming today, and we hope you enjoyed the show. Please enjoy our final song, Make a Difference. After, we'll be ready to take pictures. Thank you.